Welcome to College Smart Radio, helping you bring into focus the true cost of college and how to tackle the runaway cost of financing a college education. College Smart Radio is hosted by Beatrice Schultz, a certified financial planner and founder of Westface College Planning. Now, here's your host for College Smart Radio, Beatrice Schultz.
Welcome to College Smart Radio. When it's time to apply to colleges, it makes good sense for families to take advantage of as many tools and resources available as possible. One valuable source of information and support is the high school college counselor. We've heard that the average public high school guidance counselor to student ratio is anywhere from 1,000 to 300 students per one counselor, and it can be tough for all students to get the help they need from their high school college counselor. On today's College Smart Radio program, my guest is a local Bay Area public high school college advisor. She is here to tell you how your student should be utilizing the college advising services available at no additional cost at their high school. Hi, I'm Beatrice Schultz. Welcome to our weekly show, College Smart Radio, where we help you tackle the runaway costs of a college education. Our show is all about bringing up-to-date and practical advice to parents who are dealing with the cost of a college education for their kids. With some Ivy League private schools costing over $60,000 a year, a UC costing $35,000, and a California State University running $25,000, parents need more help than ever. We bring you that help by sharing ways to pay less, tapping into financial aid, and prioritizing your source of funds to make sure you get through the most expensive years of your life. Based on my own education and experience, I share my insights with you week in and week out. I hold a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemical Engineering and a Master's degree in International Business. I am a certified financial planner and the owner of the San Carlos-based college planning business, Westface College Planning. I host workshops and webinars on college planning and consult with parents on a daily basis. And in addition to my insights, I bring in experts in many areas of the college process, from counselors, financial professionals, financial aid officers, student coaches, parents, and even students. You'll learn firsthand the ins and outs of how to pay for college and survive financially. In addition to our show, you can find lots of powerful information at our website, collegesmartradio.com. We have many articles that I've authored with up-to-date information on navigating the waters of paying for the runaway cost of college. We have a monthly e-newsletter full of content about college planning. We also have posted a glossary of key terms used in the world of college planning, terms like EFC, total cost of attendance, FAFSA, student assets, base year, and so forth. And we have a link to our free community parent workshops and webinars that I host to teach parents about how to pay for college and how the financial aid system really works. So let's get into today's show. Finding the right school or college is one of the most important decisions your students will make. A correct choice will enrich and enhance your student's life and can impact his or her future. Finding the right fit, however, can be daunting. Your school college counselor is one of your best resources as you plan for college. Your counselor has information about college selection, admission tests, college preparation, plus your education and career options. My guest today is Zorina Matavulj, the college and career advisor at Woodside High School, a public high school here in the Bay Area. She's here to tell you how your student should be utilizing the college advising services available at no cost to you at your high school. Hi, Zorina. Welcome to College Smart Radio.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Hey, maybe we can get started by you share with your audience a little bit about your background. How did you get into this business?
Well, I'm from Chicago. I went to undergrad at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. Go Blue. I came out to California, and I wanted to be an English teacher. So I got my credential and my master's degree at UC Santa Barbara. And then I started working at Woodside as an English teacher, and I taught juniors. And obviously in the junior year, students are really focused on where they're going to apply to college. They're researching colleges, and I did so much work with them. And when the position of college advisor opened up, because I had had so much experience working with students and researching so many different colleges and so many options, especially in terms of the finances, I got the job, and I was really, really happy. And I've been in this job now for 5 years, and I have learned so much. about what's best for families and for students, finding the right fit, and about the 4,000 colleges all across the country and the 70-some privates here in California and the 9 UCs, as well as the 23 CSUs, California.
Well, Zorina, thanks so much for sharing that. And I invited Zorina to be my guest on my show because I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of guidance counselors, and all of them want to do a great job. But I see Zorina, I see how she works with her parents, and I knew she'd be a great addition to share, to motivate everyone who's listening on the show to use their high school advisor. So at Woodside High School, or maybe just for anyone, what's the process you take through the students, or what do you recommend? Where do they start, and what are the steps for college prep?
Okay, so I always recommend that the earlier you start, the better off you are, because the less stress you have. And so as a college advisor, my job is to start with my ninth graders. And so I don't do a lot of work with the freshmen, but I introduce myself to them. I do a short presentation, usually in their English class. I show them the services we have available, what we have in the College and Career Center, and Naviance, which is the online college and career research system that we and a lot of other high schools use. And then we move on to 10th grade, where they already know me because I've already presented to them. And I can do a lot more in-depth with them in 10th grade. And then once we start getting into the 11th grade, of course, we have the normal presentations that we normally have every semester, but we also have so many different opportunities for both parents and students. We have workshops, and we have special nights about the SAT and about financial aid. And then when they're seniors, that's really when the rubber hits the road. But the goal is to not to start something or not to have any new information presented senior year. It's information that we've given the students and shared with the students and talked about with the students for 3 years already. So when they're beginning their applications and finalizing their college list, and writing their personal statements, and doing their financial aid, their FAFSA, and a lots of scholarship applications, they're doing it with knowledge, and they're doing it in a very prepared way. And that's my recommendation for what's been successful for Woodside, is to start early and often.
So if I've got some parents listening to the show right now and they're nudging their freshmen and said, have you met your college counselor yet? And there's like, no. Is there, and I'm sure every high school is different, but do you actually have, if students or parents want to learn something or talk about their specific kid, I mean, is there access that they can actually make appointments with you, or do you just have an open career center where people can wander in? How does it work at Woodside?
I have both. We do have a college and career center here at Woodside, and whenever I'm not in front of a class presenting, which is actually a really important thing that I do, I am in the career center. Anybody can come in anytime. Because I've been here at Woodside for so long now, I think the parents know that it's really comfortable to call me or email me, and we make appointments. We just have conversations on the phone if that's easier with their schedule. I'm available, I would say, in multiple different ways for the parents as well as the students. And I agree with you that, it's never healthy to apply pressure. And I don't say to the ninth graders, you are absolutely going to a fantastic college that's impossible to get into. That's never my message. My message is I'm here to help you research the information, answer any questions, and that's how we begin our conversation with just so it's more comfortable and so they feel at ease talking to me about what they're looking forward to and what they're concerned about.
So you're helping out the students and the parents on one side. On the other side, you're collecting all the information. Now, how do you collect that information? Is it just over time that you have collected, or are you actually talking to colleges? Or, how do you kind of keep yourself up to date on what's going on out there?
So again, everything is multiple different ways. First of all, of course, I read a lot, and all of the college books and the college websites, and I do my research that way. But that is only a fraction and a fragment of what I do. First of all, Woodside has college representatives contact us and come visit our students and the College and Career Center all the time. So I can get information from them directly. I go to conferences. I go to the California State University Conference every year, the UC, the University of California Conference every year. And this year I was incredibly lucky because every year from across the country, 50 counselors are invited to do a tour called Decemberfest. And they took me to so many different colleges in California and actually got to be on their campuses and talk to their admissions reps and talk to their students. So just by being in this profession and being, I'd say, assertive and so willing and wanting to know so much is how I learn all the things that I know.
Oh, that's great. And Decemberfest sounds wonderful. So how were the counselors chosen who got to go there?
I don't know. I was so, when I got the invitation, I have to be honest with you, I cried because I was so happy, and it was such a good thing for Woodside in two ways. In one way, it was good that I could go and at the different colleges that we toured, I could represent Woodside and talk about how fantastic our school and our students are. But on the flip side, it was just good because I got so much information that I can pass along to the families and to the students. So it was a win-win-win all the way around.
That's great. Now, I do hear from students, I hear from parents that colleges do kind of know the school, or they look at kids and they rank them, or they have some sense of Woodside School kids do this. Is that what you hear when you go to these admissions meetings too, or do you think that's a bit of a wives' tale?
Oh, it's definitely an old wives' tale.
Okay.
That would be such a hard-hearted, unfair thing to do. The high schools are not at all officially ranked by the colleges because what a college admissions officer will say, and I think I've probably heard this a million times, that they evaluate students within the context of their opportunities. I'll just say that again because I've heard it so much. The college admissions officers evaluate each student with the opportunities that were available to them. So, for example, you look at Woodside High School, and we offer about 20 AP classes, and then you look at another high school, and they'll offer maybe 5 AP classes. Does that student that goes to Woodside have a benefit over the school that only offers 5 AP classes?
Hey, Zorina, I'm going to interrupt you right now, but I want to come back and hear more about that because I think it's a question people have. You're with us on College Smart Radio, where my guest today is Zorina Matavulj from Woodside High School here on the Bay Area. We'll be right back on College Smart Radio.
For more information on today's topic, visit collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1559. College Smart Radio continues in moments on AM 1220 KDOW. Contact Beatrice Schultz at collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1559. Now, back to College Smart Radio with your host Beatrice Schultz on AM 1220 KDOW.
Welcome back to College Smart Radio, where we help you tackle the runaway costs of college. I'm Beatrice Schultz. I'm talking with my guest, Zorina Matavulj, the career advisor at Woodside High School here in the Bay Area. We all know that college is expensive and will most likely be some of the most costly years for a family. Understanding how to navigate the college costs to save everywhere you can is a smart thing to know, and making the best college choice is one of those smart things. Remember, to help families be on this radio show, I host community workshops via live and via webinar several times a month that explain the costs of various colleges, how the financial aid system works, and things to consider to prepare yourself for this tremendous expense. You can find my workshop schedule and register at collegesmartradio.com. Well, Zorina, we were just talking a little bit about, the wives' tale, or about if the colleges know ahead of time what every student from every high school is going to have as far as skills and assets. And I liked your answer, which was every individual is kind of judged based on what they've taken, or I guess what they have as part of their profile or their application. Maybe you can go into kind of how you work with students, or what are the important things to have or to be prepared, or to prepare yourself for college.
Well, I guess along with the last topic that we talked about, because every student is evaluated within the context of their opportunities, the idea is to make the most of your opportunities. if your school is rich in AP classes, don't pressure yourself and stress yourself out by taking all of them, but take the ones that interest you, and that's true of AP classes and other classes as well. You want to take what interests you, and you want to explore what's available to you and use the resources that are provided for you. And I would say that that's true academically, and that's true extracurricularly as well. If you want to play a sport and your school has a sport, fantastic. That's an easy match. If your school doesn't have the athletics that you're interested in, there are other ways to pursue that. The same thing is true with other activities. For example, we have a Pink Ribbon Club at our school, which is for students who are really interested in supporting families who are dealing with breast cancer and women who are dealing with breast cancer. That's not an opportunity that they have at every school, but if you are interested in that, there are other ways to pursue that. So I think my best advice for students is to take advantage of your opportunities, study very, very hard, and do what you love. Those would be my three biggest pieces of advice. In terms of looking for colleges, I think you just flip that around and you say, okay, I really love playing, let's say, lacrosse. Does the school have lacrosse? And I'm so interested in my statistics class. Are there more higher level statistics classes at colleges I'm looking at? I really like the work that I've done with Pink Ribbon Club. Can I continue that at some colleges, in this area or in other geographical areas I'm looking at? So you figure out what it is that you love and what you're passionate about, and then you research, and that's why Naviance is such a wonderful online tool, because it allows you to research what schools match those possibilities.
So you're encouraging those students in grade 9 to be starting to log into Naviance and understand how the system works and start to research bit by bit as they think about their interests?
Yeah, and I know that sounds like you're pushing a student, and I really don't want ever to push the student. But what I will say is, we don't have to do this every day. But, as a ninth grader, we could do it maybe once a semester. And then as a 10th grader, we could do it maybe once a month. And then as a junior, we do it all the time.
And what do you... Go ahead.
No.
I think you're going to say as a senior, I guess. Well, as senior, you've almost already done it all. I guess that's really the truth, right?
Exactly. The goal is by senior year to not have this be a first step in senior year, but to have done so many steps in previous years that you're ready. You've got all cylinders firing senior year, and you're ready for your applications.
So what timing do you typically give to students when they should be writing their PSATs or SATs or ACTs, or should they be writing them all? Should they choose one or the other?
Okay, so the PSAT is given in mid-October of the junior year. Some schools will have all of their students take it. Some schools will have their students self-select to take it on their own on a Saturday. That happens junior year, first semester in mid-October. Then the second semester of junior year, a student will take either the SAT or the ACT or both. That is the recommendation, is to take one or the other or both once in the second semester of your junior year, because then in the first semester of your senior year, while you certainly still have plenty of time, you can say, you know what, the SAT was really a good match for me, and I think I can do even better the second time, and then take it again. Or you can say that the same thing with the ACT. Once the second semester of your junior year and once first semester of your senior year.
Well, I love that attitude, or I guess that I love the idea of taking both and then choosing one that you might think you can do better and then taking it again. Now, my understanding, or maybe you can explain it to our audience, how do the colleges treat if you've taken both the ACT and the SAT, and maybe you've taken the SAT twice? Which of the marks do they end up counting?
Okay, well, so it's different at different schools. Most schools use what they call a super score policy, which means they are going to take the best scores no matter which time those scores happen, and no matter if a reading score happened very well one time and a math score happened very well another time. So they super score you by taking your best scores. That's the policy with some colleges. Other colleges, for example, the 9 UCs, UC Santa Cruz, UC Riverside, UCLA, UC Berkeley, they will take the best, what they call sitting, the best test date. So if you match all your scores together and your best score was in May, that's your score. Or if it ends up being in October, then that's your score. And so I think that with a lot of things with college, as students and families sometimes say, how can I game this? How can I somehow put myself in the best position? And, I'm not somebody with my head stuck in the rabbit hole. I understand we live in reality and we have to be smart about our strategies. But at the same time, you want to be authentic, and colleges reciprocate by being authentic. And what they say when they see an SAT taken twice, they don't say, oh, man, they should have done it the first time really well. What they say is, this student cares enough to take the test twice. So it's a positive to take it twice, not a negative.
And is it okay? I mean, is it even more positive to take it 5 times, or does that just become crazy and overwhelming or not even possible?
It is a negative, and this isn't an opinion question.
Yeah.
This is a statistics question.
Okay.
The statistics overwhelmingly show that the third time a student will take the SAT or the ACTs, they will not improve, and they will perhaps actually reduce their score. And, of course, there's outliers. Of course, somebody's going to improve the third time. But for the most part, the statistics show that after 2 times is not logical.
So when we talk about or worrying about gaming the system, or let's just say looking the best for the college, are most kids taking some type of prep course, or is it available online? I mean, do you find that most kids are taking really kind of studying for these SAT or ACTs?
I think it really varies, just as we're all individuals and we all have unique, characteristics and personalities. The preparation varies. I have some students who absolutely do take the prep courses. I have some students who that's not an affordable possibility for them, so they do a lot of online work on College Board and on number2.com for free, and that's fantastic. And then I have some students who don't do very much at all. They just go into the test cold. And it's a matter of what a student values, and for himself or herself, what their priorities are. And some students, the priority is to get that highest score that they can. And other students correctly know that the score, yes, is important, but at the same time, it's not everything. And you don't have to, fillet yourself to try to get a 2,000.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't.
Well, and I think the reality, as you've stated, and it's just the way that you think, is you just want to be yourself, but you want to be the best that you can be during those high school years.
And in the senior year, it is my responsibility. It is my job to learn everything about the student and make sure that information is presented on the application in as glowing of a perspective as possible. And we don't lie and we don't exaggerate, but we take all of our students' wonderful qualities and we make sure that they shine on the application. That's what you should do.
So as a high school college advisor, do you review applications and even review essays, or is that something that you wouldn't really review and you'd more just coach them on how to do their own?
Oh, no, I do. I definitely do.
You do a lot of review.
Again, this is about, a kid's personality and what a kid and a family wants. And so some kids are like, I got this. Like, I listened to you for 3 years, and, I can do this on my own because I'm going to college on my own, and so I'm going to do the applications on my own. And then on the flip side, I have kids who are like, read this section, now read this section, read this essay, now read it again, So it really depends. And if they need me to read it, want me to read it, I do over and over and over, the applications and the personal statements.
Oh, Zorina, thanks so much for joining us and sharing your expertise here on College Smart Radio.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much. Remember, your high school counselor may be very accessible or may be juggling 1,000 students and really not know your name, but it's up to your student. He's the one, or he or she's the one who's going to have the biggest stake in their future. So encourage your student to actively seek out his counselor for help and to stay on top of all opportunities and deadlines. Well, that wraps up another weekly show of College Smart Radio. We hope you picked up some new information today that helps you figure out ways to manage the runaway costs of college. You can hear us each week here on KDOW 1220 AM, Saturdays at 3 p.m. We promise to bring you up-to-date information from the front lines of helping parents deal with the most expensive years of their lives. In addition to for the link to a podcast of the show and our prior weekly shows, please go to our website, collegesmartradio.com. And plan to join us at one of our upcoming West-Face College Planning workshops and webinars in San Carlos. You can reserve a seat at the workshop either live or via webinar from the show's website. This is Beatrice Schultz. Thanks for tuning in to College Smart Radio. We look forward to sharing more helpful information next week.
You've been listening to College Smart Radio with Certified Financial Planner Beatrice Schultz. If you have questions on today's topic, log on to collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1559. That's 650-587-1559. Join us next week at this time for another edition of College Smart Radio on AM 1220 KDOW.